Tyler Perry has a documentary that just came out on Amazon called Maxine's Baby, and it's the documentary of his life story and his life work. Have you
Mhm.
seen any of it? What do you think about it?
I have not seen it, unfortunately, not yet,
Mm-hmm.
but I plan on it because I've heard nothing but great reviews. So I'm looking forward to it. Even though I criticize him sometimes because we all can
Mm-hmm.
use constructive criticism,
Right.
I am ultimately a huge fan of Tyler Perry. I enjoy some of his work. Um, I admire him as a person. I admire what he's done for the Black community, for the acting world, for Black actors. I'm inspired by him, truly. So he can really do no wrong in my eyes. I pray there's never a scandal about him. I can't lose too many brothers now. I can't lose too many more. But I've always been a fan of his, and just I'm happy that his project is getting such positive feedback. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, I've seen it, and I've had some criticisms for Tyler Perry, but
Hmm.
even with those criticisms, everyone has always said I admire his business acumen and his work ethic. You can't take that away from him.
Not
And those two things are directly tied to his ability to tell a story and some of the things that a lot of people criticize. So I'm gonna give you my rundown on what I feel about it without spoiling everything, mind
okay.
you. But it is a documentary. But here's a little clip of what it was about. I enjoyed it, y'all, and y'all know for me to say that,
Right.
it's got to be something special. But take a look.
What filmmaker has had 5 movies open #1 at the box office in the last 4 years? Spielberg? Tarantino? Scorsese? No. This record belongs to Tyler Perry.
How do you feel right now, sir?
My problem with a lot of things in life is I float above it. That's just from childhood, that's from abuse. So every moment, it's like you're okay, you're safe. It's just emotion, it's just feeling. It's love.
Emmett Perry Jr. was his birth name. He changed his name to Tyler Perry because he had an estranged relationship with his dad.
Mm.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's just the tip of the iceberg. This documentary was phenomenally done. It's not just the fluff that you expect to see when someone goes sit in the couch with Oprah. We seen his cousins, we seen his mama, we seen his daddy, the one that he had all these issues with.
Mm.
We've seen his pastor. We seen young Tyler when he first got started in the church. I didn't know that Tyler Perry is not his real name. It's not. That was his new name. I didn't know Tyler Perry was from New Orleans because I'm so used to associating him with Atlanta.
Mm.
And some of the things you learn in this movie, this documentary rather, is that the trauma and pain and abuse he went through with his dad and his
Yeah.
dad having those same issues with his mom
Ooh.
is what prompted him to be able to tell the stories he's telling. And of course, y'all know that didn't come without criticism because so many black people and black actors and some black directors are not a fan of black men dressing up like women and pretending to be women. Tyler Perry said, hell to the no, I don't give a damn what you think. They pay for it, and they pay this money that allows me to put our people in a better position. That is,
Mhm.
what else are you supposed to do as an artist other than look at it like that? Because Monique Nicole, I'm here to tell you, we watch these shows that are dealing with dope boys, power, and all that. And
Mhm.
who are we routinely rooting for?
The bad guy, the drug
We
dealer.
are we are routinely rooting for the drug dealer. And
Mhm.
what Tyler Perry is doing is nowhere near that sinister and heinous.
Mhm.
All he's doing is dressing up as a woman that, I'm not even gonna say, I'm gonna say a figure
Mhm.
that reared him and gave him strength in his times
Right.
of darkness.
Mm.
And the story gets real deep because Tyler Perry maintained a relationship with this dad that caused him all this trauma. They even in the documentary go up to the daddy house, Monique Nicole, and I ain't gonna tell you what happened, but it gets explosive. It gets real explosive.
Oh my
And
gosh.
and then we're in this documentary on what Tyler Perry did when he moved to New Orleans. Now, mind you, this man lost his money over and over again trying to get this play up and running, Monique.
Mm.
Like 3-4 times. He could not get the thing running in New Orleans. He comes to Atlanta with nothing but his car, sleeping out of his car.
Mm.
Does the play in Atlanta, opened some eyes, some white executives seen it and was talking about this man in a boardroom. And he asked the people in the boardroom, how many of y'all know Tyler Perry? None of the white people raised their hand, but guess what? Every black person in there in Atlanta raised their hand in that boardroom. And that's when the white executive said, we got to do business with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how the empire started happening.
Wow.
You know, it started snowballing from there. And it got so big to the point where Tyler Perry started accumulating this wealth. And he would never, ever get anything on credit. Because as black people coming from a poor community, our people usually tell us not to mess with no credit. You know,
Right.
like they got us thinking credit is like the damn devil when it's not. Because white people leverage credit all the time and manipulate it for their good. Right.
Yep.
Well, when Tyler Perry finally got big enough, the one thing he finally broke down and decided to use credit for was to build Tyler Perry Studios.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing story. He got investors, he got loans, he got all that to build the biggest studio in the South. And what's more important about that studio, Monique Nicole, that studio that he built used to be a place for Confederate soldiers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And now they dancing in their grave, mad as hell that a black man who dressed up as a woman has made $1 billion and is making stories that thwart their mindset on a day-to-day basis. It's an amazing documentary.
It's an amazing story. I'm familiar with, some of his story and his upbringing. He's talked about his childhood and, several interviews over the years. So I am familiar with that aspect and have always applauded him for just overcoming that trauma. That is not easy at all because most of us, we carry our trauma, through our life and through our adulthood until we realize that, I have to face this head on, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like he's done the work, whether it's through prayer, whether it's through therapy, he's done the work. And I commend him for even speaking to, I didn't know his father was still alive. I thought his father had passed.
That's his daddy right there.
Wow. I don't know why I thought his father passed. So yeah, that's interesting. But I definitely look forward to watching it. I thank you for the breakdown. I'm definitely.
Oh yeah, it's like there's if you need a pick me up, an uplifting story, this is it. I mean, Monique, I would even say that this thing is so groundbreaking. People that don't normally like him, if you see this documentary,
you're gonna love him.
You might turn around.
Yeah.
And they even had people that was haters of Tyler Perry in there because of the way he portrays the Medea character. Spike Lee, for example.
I was going to say Spike Lee. Yep.
He's in there. He ain't too thrilled about it. But at the end of the day, Tyler knew his audience. He had the niche. And which one of the two is a billionaire right now? And that's not to take away anything from Spike Lee because he's been a phenomenal filmmaker.
Right.
But his filmmaking abilities didn't get him to $1 billion. Not yet.
Not yet, at least. Yeah.
Not yet. And Tyler Perry was able to achieve that by staying in his lane, doing his thing, not worrying about trying to broaden his reach with the audience. But what he did worry about doing was making sure he kept giving great material to the audience that he had. And so definitely is a must watch to just see how he was able to circumvent all the barriers that was put in front of him, overcome criticism, not just from Anglos, but from us too.
From his own people. No, I just, it's tough because, how do I say this? I do want Tyler Perry to I feel like he addresses his haters a lot, which is cool, right? But I do wish that he would take some constructive criticism because some of it I feel like is constructive. I really want to go back to the days of Diary of a Mad Black Woman and The Family That Prays. And I want to really go back because those were two of his, like, oh my God, he's got a couple others, but like, I want to go back to those films. Like, I want him to come out with that content because in the beginning, even without him dressing up as Medea, he did portray the struggle of a Black woman in a very authentic way. Like, he did tell those stories in a way that was relatable to certain Black women. And I just feel like he kind of started to fall off with his TV shows. Meet the Browns was great. Like his comedic TV shows, they're catered to a certain audience and they're good. So like Meet the Browns and those type of shows, cool. But when we start doing the have and the have-nots, and oh my God, what was the other one on OWN? That was a big hit.
The White House show, whatever it was.
Well, not that one, but yes. Oh God. Why am I forgetting it now? He has this thing where, because I watch his content, so I can say it as a viewer.
Right.
He will put out a project. He'll start a show. The Have and the Have-Nots started out as an excellent show. Very compelling, very intriguing, captured the audience. It was a great show.
Okay.
But after a few seasons, it just, thank you, Monique. If Loving You Was Wrong, that was another one on OWN. Started out really good, had a big audience, was captivating, and then it falls off. So I do want him to take some constructive criticism because not all of it is hate. Some people genuinely want to support him, but hey, we can see where there is room for improvement. And as someone who has watched many of his shows, I don't even get into Ruthless because Ruthless, I just can't get into that. But I watched the White House one with the president. I watched that one, and I can tell you right now, that's another example of a show that started out really good, started out really different, really intriguing, and it's now kind of going downhill. Sisters, I stopped watching it, but from what I'm hearing, it's getting ridiculous. It's just like, I want him to get back to the old Tyler Perry, like those old days where he, like, I just, because I know he can do it. I know he can do. He's done it before. But
the thing about that is, though, I mean, I 100% agree with you. 100% agree with you. I often try to tiptoe the way I talk about his audience because I don't want to come off as sounding flippant.
Okay.
I think with Tyler, one thing that he wound up learning was that if you can get a show to 100 episodes, you get syndication. And this ain't got nothing to do with the movies. This is TV shows.
Okay.
And the movies you described all were done prior to his TV show days. Okay. You know, so those movies was what was putting them on the map. And then when he learned the secret of syndication with the TV shows, I think he just dove right into that and said, you know what? I'm comfortable with this money because the TV show work is what took him to a billionaire status.
Right. I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah.
And maybe he's kind of to the point of, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Or maybe I don't want to deal with making movies anymore. But what I would say to him is he could work with some up and coming filmmakers such as myself who have great creative ideas for movies. I've got a bunch of scripts, Tyler.
You better plug yourself.
And get damn right. And get us out there with the same kind of work ethic and vision that you had to get the same audience to watch the same stuff. So I think he could do that. And from what I understand, nobody's better at philanthropy than him. Nobody is trying to give back in Atlanta than him. But at the same time, Tyler, I got to roll my eye at you a little bit now, brother. I hear you gobble up all them state credits for filming because basically they made them for you. That whole Georgia peach that you see at the end of the Real Housewives, that is all because of Tyler Perry. People start coming to Atlanta getting these tax credits that was put in place because of Tyler Perry and made the film industry so wonderful. He's the architect of that. Tyler Perry is. But I would love to see Tyler Perry reach out and work with someone like myself who has creative ideas that could broaden his base, but continue to entertain the current audience that he has. And I think I think that would be a way, Monique, to kind of still, get his vision out there and still kind of keep his finger on the pulse of movies too.
When he first started, I felt like I really understood his vision. Like I could see it in his work. Like another person in the comments brought up, Why Did I Get Married? One of my favorites. Excellent
The Family
movie.
That Prays. Oh my goodness.
Excellent movie.
That's my favorite one by far.
That's one of my favorites. Top. That's like probably number one. Really?
Like, definitely. Now, I don't know if it's true, Monique. I don't know.
Okay.
But I heard there was a co-writer with him on that. It's after seeing this documentary, it's hard for me to believe that, because Tyler Perry in this documentary said, Monique, he said that in 30 days he can spit out like 21 scripts, because that's all the trauma he's going through. Like,
but the issue with that, but see, I've heard that before from him. He's bragged before about how quickly he can go through scripts, and that's my issue as a viewer. Now I'm talking about his TV shows. Yeah, he posted on Instagram like a year or two ago, like, just got done doing. It was just like, that's the issue, Tyler, is that someone who views your TV shows, I can see you did that shit in 21 days because it's rushed. It doesn't make sense. Or you started this storyline, then you completely dropped it and it poofed in the air, and we're supposed to just pretend like it never happened, and we're supposed to just pick up with this and do like his TV shows become super choppy. They feel rushed. They don't make or they drag out too long. They don't make sense, or they become repetitive. Like I can name them, like, because I give.
Do you feel like because we are fans now. We're
I'm a fan, but I have to listen. I'm a fan of Beyonce. Right. I don't like every Beyonce song, so everybody is up for me. I'm equal opportunist. Everybody's up for criticism for me.
Do you feel like he went more quantity over quality? Is that the way you're kind of feeling?
You said it beautifully. Yes, 100%, 100,000%, 100%. So, and then remember the debate a couple years ago about him, the controversy behind him not having a writer's room.
I think that's because I think because of the hardship he went through to get in the door, it is somewhat hard for him to give up control of, I guess, the narrative in his scripts, because for him, that's what's got him to this point. And until the audience stops viewing his stuff in mass numbers enough, it's kind of like, why would you change your behavior? Because, for example, let me tell it like this, Monique. Let me tell you like this. As me and you being YouTubers, you being a vlogger and a blogger, you see criticism all the time. And I'm always telling you and new people to YouTube, don't worry about the haters. You keep doing you. Now, if you see something in there that resonates, take it as a grain of salt and see if you can fix it. The problem is with Tyler Perry, I'm about sure that he's at the point where the only thing that resonates with him is the bottom line. And if that's not changing or going up, why do you change what you're doing? Regardless of what the critics say.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Everything you said, I'm with you. Because like I said, Family That Prays to this day is my all-time favorite Tyler Perry joint. My wife's too. Yours too. And you watch more stuff than I do.
Yeah.
But that essence seems like it's gone, and it's probably not going to come back.
I miss it. I miss those days. I really miss those days. But you bring up an excellent point about the TV shows, because you're right. Like, what's the last movie he's even done? Like, he's definitely switched his gears to television, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the content could be better. Again, he starts out strong, but he misses halfway through, and then his shows always when they end, it's the way they end. It just I could really go on about it, but
wow.
Bottom line is I love the man. I have respect for him. I admire him. I appreciate him. I applaud him, but he's up for criticism just like everybody else in my book. And that's just, as someone who, I'm not just someone who's in the blogs just commenting and being a hater. I actually give his content a chance. I actually take the time out of my day to watch his content. You know what I'm saying? So I can give this criticism as a viewer. And from what I see, I'm not the only one that feels this way about his content.
Oh no. Like I said, I try to tiptoe around the audience. His audience is mostly church-going African-American women.
Mm-hmm.
That's a large part of his audience. But the other thing I tiptoe around is the range of entertainment diversity of his audience. I think that's the nicest way I can put it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you understand what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're saying. And let me stop talking because I'm trying to get hired by him one day at Tyler Perry Studios.
Look,
I've been looking at the site once a month. I don't think they're taking any applications right now. So let me shut my mouth.
Momo, not only are you trying to get hired, I'm trying to get mired in Tyler Perry so that he can help me make my film, because my audience is very similar to his.
Okay, so let's stop talking about that man. Tyler, I love you.
I don't see nothing we've said wrong that he hasn't heard.
Right.
We've given the man plenty of flowers and roses.
Absolutely.
Me being someone who's becoming into the script world via a business mindset, of course I admire his business acumen, what he's done. But there are a fan base that criticizes him for the way he's taking his career. And at the end of the day, it only comes down to what makes him feel good. At the end of the day, because if it's still doing numbers, his shows are doing better than stuff on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So, Tyler, your documentary was great. It's inspiring, and it's the kind of material for those that had a bone to pick with you. The documentary, I think, can bring them full circle into better understanding who you are. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen it, go ahead and watch the Tyler Perry documentary, Maxine, baby. It is on Amazon right now. Be sure to check that out. Let us know what you think.